Hey, how are you guys doing?
How are you, man?
What's going on, Ben?
Doing good. I was on here last week and I
That's for-
sent a contract to the seller
Yeah,
and they wanted their lawyer to write it up.
yeah, we
And
talked about this one. So
yeah.
I'll
And then
update Zach real quick. She said, I have to have my attorney to write it up. So long story short, I told him that usually doesn't work out very well because attorneys just always want to be right no matter what. So what's the end result? What happened?
so I believe it was Tuesday. I woke up with an email saying, you know what, for ease of transaction, let's just use your contract.
Boom!
So they they
So
signed the
they were
contract.
so for everybody's on this live, they're testing you to see if you're for real and legit. Most people make the mistake of freak out when they say, "Well, I want my attorney to review it." The worst thing you can do is say, "Absolutely not. This deal's off the table if your attorney has to review it." You
Yeah.
look like a scam artist when you do that.
I
So,
told him, what's your email? I was like, yeah, what's their email? I'll send it right
I'm
through.
telling you, dude.
they're going to look and see if you retreat back under a rock and run away. And I'm just telling you,
That's why I tell everyone to go in the lives.
Yeah.
Like you will literally, you could hear exactly. We'll give you exactly what you need to know, right?
Yeah,
He has us backing him
sure.
up on all these deals. He's
hey,
perfect.
he wasn't like, I get it, dude. I've had that happen to me thousands of
And Ben,
times.
when did you start wholesaling?
I started this month.
You see the action he takes. I got people who've been watching me for years, not done the deal or taking the action.
So
He
it's
just listens to me.
So what's your potential profit in this deal?
So I actually wanted to ask you guys about that. I feel
Okay,
pretty
let's go.
confident with my numbers, but it's my first deal. I'm always having the back of my head like, you might be completely wrong on this. But I've been calling cash buyers and I have it under contract for 25
Okay.
and I'm putting it out there at 60. And
Ooh.
people they're not really batting an eye. One guy, he called me and when I told him 60, he was like, yeah, that sounds a little high. And he said, I'm probably more like 40 or 50. But other people
Oh,
are, I think it's good. The deal's good. But the problem is right now is there's a tenant in the property and the tenant's insane. The tenant is a hoarder and he thinks that he has partially owns the property because like 3 years ago they had some contract that never got signed. Now he thinks that his rental payments are like going towards the purchase of the property. I told title, if he's like on title anywhere, let me know. But supposedly, like I talked to the seller, supposedly he's just full of it. He's just trying to stay at the property, I guess. But my main problem now is I have this one guy who he seems ready to move like right now. He said he could make me a cash offer today, but he said he wants to get through the property and I'm trying to work it out with the tenant who thinks that it's his house, how he's going to like let me into the house. That's my main problem.
Have you been in the house yet?
No, I've been to the house. I've taken pictures and whatever. I haven't been inside yet though.
What state are you in?
I'm in Iowa.
Oh, Iowa?
Iowa.
Yeah, I'm actually in Kansas, but I got this locked up in Iowa, so I'm staying at my cousin's house.
Okay. So a couple tips here to make insane profits on like our wholesale deals. The houses are empty and there's nobody in it. I'm not going to sit here and like mislead you.
And to make insane profits in wholesaling, there's insane problems.
That you're solving a problem. So listen, you have to figure some ways to kind of work around this.
Yeah.
I don't like to lie to people. I just like, you can't tell this guy he's going to be staying in the house. But
No.
I will tell you this. If you take a slight discount on it and you want to move it fast, sell it with the tenant in it and give the guy a price break on it and move. Just let him
5-10K.
So the question is, do you want to attack the problem or do you want your buyer to attack it? That's the only question you have to ask yourself. So
Okay.
if you,
it's a tough one.
him being remote, he almost has.
I know,
I
agree.
would pass it off if I can, but I get it. He
Where
needs
does
to
the
get in
seller
there.
live?
So I'm actually in Iowa right now, and the seller
about the
lives in
seller?
Iowa. I met with her yesterday.
All right. So basically, I mean, how most leases work, if you give a 24-hour written notice, they have to let you in.
That's what I was saying. I just emailed her lawyer, who was the one that wanted to write up the contract because he's handling all the stuff with the lease. I asked him, I was like, hey, can you write like a written notice or something and give it to guy's name is Rick, the tenant in there, that I need a 24-hour notice to get into the property, and he said he'll do that. But
Okay.
I'm just worried if he's gonna cause problems because, like I told you, I called him up before we gave him his, I guess, like, a not really eviction notice, but he's only on a month to month, and we said you got to get out there in 30 days. And I called him up before that, and he was under the impression that it's like pretty much his house, even though he knows that he doesn't have a title to it.
Ben, was it a written eviction notice?
Yeah,
Okay, so
he's been
it's written.
served. Yeah.
So honestly, man, like a lot of people like to pretend in their head. You know, there's two types of tenants, right? There's ones that are crazy. They'll put up a guise in front of you, but they're sane and they understand the law and they know, well, it's written out, I have to leave, you know. And there's people that, you know, think the world is run by them and, you know, tinfoil hat, you know, everything's against me. I'm not making fun of anyone, but like those type of people, you could legitimately tell them anything and they won't care. So you got to figure out which one. Most people aren't that insane. That's like 5%. So if they're like really into drugs and stuff, it's probably going to be there. But like most like guys talking big game, he's trying to do some Hail Mary. Most of those people at the end of 30 days, probably going to get out. Like honestly, they're probably going to get out of there. Or you can do this: is just meet with the tenant, and say, "Hey, I know you got 30 days. How can I work with you? Can I help you out with anything? How can I help you move out of here so you're not kicked out to the curb? I want to help you out.
I'd rather pay.
Be a human. Like I've never been in a situation where like someone's evicted me and I only have 30 days to move somewhere. But like if I'm in that situation, I would feel terrible, right? I feel stressed. There's a lot going on. Try to help some. Maybe you need a 2-week extension. Maybe not. Like you got to be creative with this because the bigger problem that you get paid in proportion to the amount of problems you solve. So if you can figure out a way to get that tenant out there and sell it for 60, that's good stuff, man.
So you just got to figure your worst case scenario. I would talk to someone at the title company or the lawyer at the title company to evict them with the paperwork you have now. How long would it take? Okay. And then the other thing is we always try to work with like holdover tenants. The key word is try. 95% of them will eventually agree. So we have one we're working on today, right?
Which one? Wait.
You got to give me that information, by the way.
I already have it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the idea is, hey, listen, by the way, I assume he's probably not paying rent, right?
He actually is paying, but it's like variable. It's a verbal agreement, and he just pays kind of what he wants, and he supposedly doesn't even live there. He's just using it to like keep all of his junk at. But
okay, well that's so now. Once again, without getting, I don't want to drag this on forever, but
yeah,
I would try to find a lawyer that specializes in that state because you like in Florida, we have abandonment. So I don't even know, like, I'm not a lawyer, but like my leases say, if you vacate the property for 7 or 10 consecutive days and we can prove it, we can just change the locks and take it over.
Oh, he probably doesn't. What I'm thinking here is why don't you just close after the 30 days? So the tenant leaves and then you're good. That could happen too. Just say, I'm not closing until the property is vacant, and then the burden's on them.
So Ben, this is just a byproduct of wholesaling. You just got to solve the problem. There's not going to be one unique answer. Your worst case scenario, I mean, the worst, this is how I always start with wholesaling is if you sold it to a cash buyer for like 35, 40 and you just take over this problem as is. I've done that before. Like I've had some extremely unreasonable people. It's like, I don't want to get in this fight. Let me just take the cash on the table and move on to the next deal. Your best case scenario, if you get them vacant, you could do 60 and it'll work out well. I would still try to sell with the tenant in it. Maybe offer him like $500 or $1,000 if he cooperates.
Gotcha.
With you.
How should I get in for the inspection real quick?
24-hour notice.
24 hours. They'll let
with the seller. Like,
yeah. So
that's all you can do.
If you give the notice, once again, review it with a lawyer.
Actually,
I would use a locksmith and get in there.
No, the seller probably has the keys. And if the
seller does not have the keys, that's the problem.
So if
what's wrong with the seller?
You got to check with a lawyer, but if you give legal notice and you can prove it and you enter the property with a locksmith, don't go over there with a screwdriver like old school style.
No, get a locksmith.
Get in there, take a couple quick pictures, which you're going to need for marketing. And have a witness. Don't touch anything. And if you have a buyer with you, they have to stay right in front of you, and I wouldn't let them too far through the house.
But you need a lawyer to okay all of this.
Yeah, don't do it on your own.
But usually you're going to be fine there. he might be there when you're there. I don't know, but 24-hour notice. Make sure to tell the tenant, hey, we're going to be there at 4 o'clock or whatever. That's it.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have and a bad at
And
the
if
same
you threaten
time.
the tenant, like, hey, if you're not there at 9 a.m., we're going to have to change the locks. You won't be able to get inside.
Just
He'll
try
probably
to
show
try
up.
to talk the tenant and work them off the cliff.
Yeah.
But make sure you got like a punching bag, like you're using the carrot, but you got to have the stick ready to go.
He
Go,
thinks
listen.
that tenant thinks he has like a puncher's chance, a boxer's chance at like winning this. What, like a pre-foreclosure on the last day, they're like, fine, then they finally decide. So
You might have some wiggle room with him not living there and just storing stuff, by the way. So I would check with a lawyer. It's a good problem to have. So you overcome the lawyer problem. Now you can overcome tenant. Guys, this is the norm of wholesaling. It's not unique to Ben. I get this crap all the time. We just solve the problem and move forward. That's why they're calling a wholesaler when it comes, or that's why they're responding to your offer. Solve the problem best you can without risking your life or losing your sanity, and you'll be a successful wholesaler.
exactly.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
So update us on that. You kind of understand our options. I think you're definitely going to make
thank
money
you.
on it. You just got to figure out which action to take.
Exactly.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Okay,
Oh.
bud. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
1 month in and he's already got.
Interesting.
He could have a.
But you know what? I'd rather have that problem than not have a deal at all, right?
Oh, he's taking action.
So that's
it.
fun. Yeah, you just solve it, and he'll learn. So the next time this problem comes up, he'll know exactly how to tackle it. So
Oh yeah.